GameKO. Okay. Battlefield 2042. Get
Yes.
hyped. Take me through it. Take me through it, Dylan.
Like,
what the fuck was that?
It was okay. Not only does it look amazing, but they did the longest. I think it was like a 3-day dangle with the cinematic and then the gameplay interlude there. It's losing my mind, bro.
Bro, I know.
It looks so good. So it's 64 versus 64 multiplayer. Obviously, we're back into the future. We're not dealing with World War I, World War II stuff. But they didn't jump too far forward, like in 2042.
So I think this was getting a grapple. Sorry.
Yeah, they had to throw the grapple in, which
dude.
That was one of the biggest things that Battlefield lacked was like mobility without a vehicle was slow. Even in Battlefield 4, like if you were on one side of the map, you just had to own your side of the map. You know what I mean? Yeah. Unless you got a vehicle or spawn back in somewhere else. Like, but the grapple I think is going to change it a lot. They went back to everything is shootable, throwable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the term of the year, baby.
Term of the decade.
But
and then they have weather events. So they're about to show it right here. The super tornado. Snipers. Very excited. They've always had bullet drop. They have wind effect now as well, which I'm excited. You brought up a point. I want to see some wanted level shot, like bend because of the tornado.
The tornado
might as well, right? Wingsuits again. You always have parachutes, but I feel like the wingsuit's going to give a little bit more mobility to the player when moving from building to building. They have the repels here. You can cut repel midway, that sort of stuff. The weapons look fantastic. A lot more movement based, it seems. There's some slides and stuff like that. So they've increased overall mobility, which I don't think can hurt Battlefield at all, especially with the scale. It's gonna make it a lot less looking for bottlenecks and a lot more like run around, shoot things, have fun with it. And then you also can change up. So they have their class based still. So specialist, medics, those sorts of things, where you can only have certain weapons on certain classes, which I think has always been a strength with Battlefield. So you're not running like, you can't pick up the best sniper off the ground and have the best class. Like it interchanges it. But you can switch up your attachments mid-fight, which really cool. So you can switch from a red dot to a 4X on your assault rifle mid-fight. And it's just a D-pad toggle on a controller. It looks like.
I saw that when they were in the elevator. Which, by the way, that little elevator interlude music was fantastic. Right. I hope that's in the actual game.
It 100% will be. Yeah, for sure.
Little note: the 128 player count, the 64 vs 64, is only on next gen and PC. So it sounds like the Xbox One and PS4. I guarantee you, at this point, they will not be cross compatible. And I'm actually hesitant to say that it's going to be like cross-play with any consoles. I'm a little concerned about that. So
I could see that.
I hope that it is, because at least the Xbox and PC, like there should be no reason for that. And hopefully PlayStation, because they'd like to be weird without it.
But I think we're far enough into the. I know the console like drought is a problem, but I think we're far enough into the console life cycle where we're kind of that sort of stuff's going to start happening,
Yeah, no, and honestly, like to do what they're doing on the screen right here,
look at that.
I think it's going to be shit on the original Xbox One and PS4. Like
a lot of people overlooked the fact that like there's the sandstorm happening because they all got focused on the super tornado. But I was like, sandstorm, everybody's
visibility
fights, everybody's fights just dropped to 15 meters tops.
That's
what I mean?
Crazy to me.
Vehicles plowing through stuff, running into things. Like you could set up traps and they wouldn't even know it. Like all kinds of craziness.
This one reminds me of Battlefield 4.
Yeah,
but like the scale is on another fucking level.
Oh, for sure. And then they've always had the benefit of having like the interior of their buildings. So here's the switch right here. So there's not an animation, and I'm wondering if they're gonna have a toggle for that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that would probably watch the animation even if it takes time. But I'm happy that they don't have that animation, and it's kind of just a speed thing. Yeah, because like I said, that's one thing that they've been hurting on, especially recently with the World War I, World War II versions of their games. Is everything just felt a lot slower. and it's nice to get back into that like
realism. Yeah,
it was what they were going for. So it's not like you're not going to knock them for it. But this is like right where everybody needed the sequel to Battlefield 4. This is what we needed, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like they went back to Battlefield 4 and said, "Oh, that's what got us big."
Yeah, because Hardline came out, and Hardline did not. They focused on smaller scale and like gunfights, but it didn't deliver. And this looks like they fixed all the things they needed gunfight wise. I know, gunfight wise, and they also gave us that large scale all together. It just took 6 years, 7 years, whatever it is, 10 years since Battlefield 4.
Just a couple years. It was just a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I can watch this over and over and over again and still like keep getting hyped. So I remember talking to you about this. Like when they first did the reveal trailer, they were like, "We're gonna have 7 maps," and I was like, "That's not enough." And then I saw the size of the maps, and I'm like, "It's plenty."
Yeah,
like look at the scale. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it right here. Actually, take you back a couple seconds because it has like a wider shot. First of all, this is basically like fucking like the whole city of Dubai. Like,
oh, for sure.
Like the scale is absurd. How many buildings are there? Do you see that? They're all going to be accessible.
100%. Even if it's not every floor, obviously. Yeah, you're going to be rooftop accessible, lobby accessible, probably some mezzanines along the way. Like it's going to be a lot of verticality in with the large scale of the actual map, and see how they're flying in over all these hills and trees and stuff. That's going to be a playable area. There's going to be people having gunfights right there.
You can see them down here. You can see like a guy in a tank down here.
They're fighting while you're flying 1,800 meters to that building. You know what I mean?
Like exactly. And like, yeah. I mean, you can see them all down here. This guy,
100%,
100%, and like the whole time there's planes going, helicopters flying, and then in between the buildings, you don't even think about that, but the amount of playable space just in between buildings on ground level is crazy.
And Battlefield always has that advantage of you have your gunfights, you have your like mid-range like helicopter tank fights, and then people they didn't go into it too much. You have your jet fights that are happening at the ceiling of the fucking map. And that's a whole different world. Whole different world. You know what I mean?
Tried to get into that world. It's terrifying. When I played Battlefield 3, I think it was like the most terrifying thing ever.
You have to be good at dogfights, and you have to worry about the occasional person like me who will just sit there and wait for the jets and just die over and over to keep restocking. And but if you can master that, like you're going to be top of the leaderboard every time
because you get mad kills doing that.
Oh gosh, once you if you can win a dogfight, you can help turn the tide of a battle position instantly. Like it's insane because the amount of support you bring in.
Like what the fuck are we seeing right here? Like the level of detail and the amount of chaos and all this stuff running so smoothly. Like
the HUD is super clean, even for pre-alpha. Like I like that they have
there's tiny stuff in the corners.
It's tiny, but the mini map looks in depth enough.
Good size square.
Yeah, it's not too obstructive. Like I like that most of it looks like it's it has that like you could kind of see through it. Like you have some of the side weapons and stuff. Like if you're not in use, you can see through it. It just helps kind of bring you into the fight without.
Yeah, this is Crisis, but clean, and I love
that. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then obviously you're gonna have to change. You only have like 2 options right there or whatever. But like that's a game changer if you can switch to a 4x in a certain situation, and then switch to a red dot because you're going inside of a building or something like that.
It allows you to play more diverse situations with one class, kind of a thing, without having to die and change or something.
100%, and then you can actually like master a class. Like that's what their big thing is. Like you level that class and only that class when you play it. And it always had that steep learning curve of like I want to be a sniper, but I'm not good with the sniper until I get certain attachments. So I'm never going to play the sniper. Now you have that ability, like, okay, but I have an SMG as a secondary. It just ripped that vehicle in there.
No, is there a player in there? Hold on.
I think there is.
Bro, if I can drive, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to drive this stupid little
security electric car.
I'm going to run people over all day. It has the chaos you were telling me you love with Halo. It does. This actually it has weird like vibes of like the sandboxy nature, where it's like just the kind of stuff that plays off each other well to create massive, impressive things. Like Halo's more of like, here's a set environment, but you can go and pick up and cause the chaos. This is like the chaos comes to you and you have to deal with it. But I love that.
And like you said what, 4 maps, right?
Seven
off jump. So
which
that's
is actually way better than I thought. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it.
This scale, 7, if they're all full scale. So this is the thing.
Yeah.
There are, in previous games, they've had like, here's 8 maps. Only 3 of them are full scale. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they actually come out with. But even if they have 3 or 4 full scale, like 128 player maps, like that's still going to be enough to keep it. I mean, you got to think that's like giving you like 4 Verdansks all at once. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't see it being as big of a problem, especially for the Battlefield player base. Like we know what we're getting into with Battlefield. You know, you're going to be able to focus on certain areas if you want, or you can mix it up every single time, and then on top of that, you have side switches.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was in there. Keep going. Ignore me. I'm a child.
It took up half my screen.
Did it? You guys don't need to worry about what I just sent my boy.
But yeah, it was it has the ability to keep a single map like from getting too, like I said earlier, too bottlenecked into everybody's always going to go here. Like it that's the glory of the Battlefield game, is like you can have fun almost anywhere on the map.
Yeah,
and you don't have to worry about, it's not battle royale. There's no gas closing. You could stay in your little fucking 3 huts. If another squad decides they want to kill you and they keep coming at you, like you could just stay there like the whole game. You know,
I agree. I think that's a big like thought process there. Like they don't really need a battle royale because this is basically like their own version of it, like with a better twist. Like it makes it more fun consistently for people rather than just the people who decide to go hardcore and get crazy.
And it's a lot more rewarding for players that maybe like are more casual and they just want to pop in. Or you could be like, you know, like I know Colin's going to be like, I need to be number 1, 2, or 3 on this scores every time.
Sweat your ass off if you want to. Yeah, exactly.
But you can get there multiple ways. You could be flying, you could be tanking, you could be running around killing people. You might not have any kills. You might have a fuck ton of repairs and stuff like that. Like you can focus on any different aspect of the battle that helps your team win. You're going to get rewarded in a very like standardized, I guess, way. Like you're gonna always get the same amount for the same amount of effort.
I'm going to make a really weird comparison, and it has nothing to do with style. Okay, this is not they're not the same games. However, what you're saying is basically why I've always liked Splatoon, which is like no matter what you're doing something good for the game. But Battlefield does it in just a more diverse set of rules. Like you have a lot of different opportunities to do it. Like COD never had that. Like COD, the one thing that's gotten me crazy a little bit about COD, we might talk a little bit about that in a second, although we've been talking forever, is that like if you're not killing a lot, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It feels like shit. Like whereas like I find that this looks like I could go and just have an absolute wonderful time completely away from my crew and being like rocketing shit for no reason. And like running people over with tanks and just having a blast. Like if I'm not feeling like the sweat lord like moment, like go play, go have fun.
I've had like days where I'm just like I'm in a mood and I'm like I'm gonna sit in this safe house that I know the planes always fly over and I'm gonna shoot rockets at them for 25 minutes and I might get a kill, I might not. Maybe I help somebody win a dogfight and I get an assist. Whatever, I'm just going to do it, but I get the score build up from doing those types of things where it doesn't feel like it was a complete waste, and I did what I wanted to, and had fun, and like that's like the perfect mesh of like you got to have fun and have the objective, you know?
Yeah, because I'm totally fine. This is why skill-based matchmaking is the most like simplistic version of like how to make it fun for everyone. It doesn't actually work. It only makes it fun for the sweat lords, like the people who like are really, really good at it. What it does for everyone else is makes their life hell. And whereas like Battlefield can just balance its own fight by having a mix of those people in there, and the mix of people can just be fucking causing chaos for you.
Yeah.
Like tornado comes around, it don't matter if you're Sweat Lord. That shit's gonna fuck your day up. Like you got to figure out how to knock it fucked up. And I love that idea. I've never seen anything like it in a video.
And it allows you to go in and play as a single player with no party. And like even if nobody in your squad has comms, blah blah blah, like you can go do your own thing and feel like you're helping. Or if you're in a full squad, I could be your repair guy because I know you're a good tanker, and we're gonna go through this, and I'm always gonna hop out and repair, and I'm gonna cover down, I'm gonna throw down traps behind you. Like you can change your play style depending on who you have to play with and how you feel like playing that day. Like it's not super linear and like you have to have 4 players or you have to be very good. Like you can be bad and just have fun. You can have a full squad that's not even good and have fun. Like you can do whatever you want and continue to have fun the whole way through.
Yep. I agree. I actually, I've never really been like super into Battlefield. I've played other ones in the past. I thought they were cool, but I think it was the wrong timing for me. Yeah. This one is hitting me at the exact time where I need a new shooter that's going to be different than Halo. So Halo's going to take up a lot of my time. Super excited for that to like be obsessed over. That's going to be where I get really sweaty because I'm really good at Halo and I can get great when I play enough.
For sure.
If you add Battlefield where it could be maybe I'm in the mood for sweating, but also I'm in the mood for just fucking some shit up and just having a really chaotic time. Yeah, that's the other shooter that I have room for in my life. And COD.
Yeah, dude.